Miner. And we also have Andy Green. You're probably saying, wait a minute, you're Andy Green. I did say that. This guy right here is my dad. You guys are going to love him. He's a great comedian. I'm not just saying that because he fertilized my egg. Now, I'm up here to get you warmed up, tell you a few jokes, get you in the mood to laugh. And while I'm doing that, I'd like for a few of you to think of a joke. Because when I'm done, I'm going to pull a few of you up here. We're going to have a joke off. And by audience participation, we'll see who has the best joke. And I believe Zimmy's is giving the winner a free drink. Can't beat that. All right, I'll get you started with this one. A guy's cleaning out his attic. And he comes across a basket with 2 eggs in it and a box full of money. He doesn't know where this came from. So he goes to his wife and asks her about it. And she says, honey, I've been unfaithful to you, and every time I put an egg in the basket. What? He says, well, we've been married a long time. I think I can forgive you that. We can work through it. And he says, what about the box full of money? And she says, well, every time I filled the basket with eggs, I sold them and put the money in the box. Speaking of wives, my wife's in the audience tonight. That's right. When I first met her, I found out she'd been divorced twice, and I couldn't believe it. Now that I've gotten to know her, that's about right. I'll never forget the first night we met. It was in the parking lot of a grocery store. She was putting her groceries in the back of her car, and I kind of slowly snuck up behind her and said, I'm gonna ring you. Just kidding, just kidding. So what's your name? When we were young, we got a great piece of advice. It went like this. Love is like a fart. If you have to force it, it's probably shit. My wife's credit cards were stolen a couple weeks ago, but I'm not going to report it because whoever stole them is spending a hell of a lot less than she did. We have 2 sons, and the other day, my youngest son came to my wife and asked her if he could take the dog into town. And she said, well, the dog's in heat. I'm not sure. Maybe you should go ask your dad. So he comes and asks me. And I said, well, you can take the dog into town, but first I rub gasoline all over the dog's ass. So they go into town, and a couple hours later, my son comes back without the dog. And I said, son, where's the dog? And he said, well, the dog ran out of gas, but the neighbor's dog's pushing him home. I've been playing a lot of Texas Hold'em lately. Is any Hold'em or gambling fans out there? Yeah. I found out that the difference between praying in church and praying in a casino is that at a casino, you really mean it. I also found out how to get a professional poker player off your front porch. You pay him for the pizza. 3 guys take their wives to Vegas for a week, and the week flies by. They're having a good time, drinking, gambling. They get back, and the 3 guys are sitting around talking about the vacation. The first guy says, I don't think I'll do that again. My wife played craps all week, and I haven't had any sleep all week. All night, she throws her hands in the air yelling, 7 come 11. The second guy says, I don't think I'll do it either. I haven't had much sleep either. My wife played blackjack all week, and she slaps the bed all night saying, hit me hard or hit me soft. The third guy says, you guys think you got it bad? My wife played the slots all week, and every morning I wake up with a sore dick and an ass full of quarters. A man comes home to find his wife packing her bags. And he says, honey, what are you doing? Where are you going? And she says, I'm packing my bags and moving to Vegas. I heard there are men there that'll pay me $200 for a blowjob. And I give them to you for free. He thinks about it for a minute, and he starts packing his bags. And she says, what the hell are you doing? And he says, I'm going with you. I want to find out how you live on $400 a year. edible panties. Once you wear them 3 or 4 times, they taste the same as any other panties. Hey, how about a clean joke? Want a clean joke? No. I just got one. A mother is trying to wake her son up for school, and he won't get up. He's laying in bed, won't get up. Finally, the son says, give me 2 good reasons why I should get up and go to school. And the mother says, because you're 52 years old and you're the principal. All right, back to the dirty ones. A guy walks into a bar, and there's a jar full of money on the bar with a sign that says, win me. So he asks the bartender about it, and the bartender says, you got to put $20 down, and you got to complete 3 tasks. The first task is to do a full shot of 100% moonshine. The second task is to go out back and pull a bad tooth out of a tied-up pit bull. The third task is to go upstairs and satisfy a 70-year-old prostitute. The guy says, well, you know what, I'll do it. So he puts his $20 down, takes the full shot of moonshine, and heads out back. About 10 minutes later, he comes back in and says, all right, now where's that 70-year-old with the bad tooth? A guy asks another guy for a light, for a cigarette, and the guy pulls out a great big lighter and lights his cigarette. The first guy said, that lighter's huge, where'd you get that? And the second guy points to a lamp and says, a genie came out of that lamp and gave me this lighter. Well, the first guy wanders over there, rubs the lamp, and sure enough, a genie pops out. And the genie says, I will grant you 1 wish. Well, the guy says, all right, I wish for $100 million. Genie says, granted. Genie does his genie thing, and all of a sudden they're surrounded by ducks. Well, the first guy walks back over to the second guy and says, that's bullshit. I asked for $100 million. And the second guy says, tell me about it. Do you think I asked for a 12-inch Bic?
Took a while.
All right, that's what I got. Let's have a joke off. Let's hear your jokes. Who's got one? Come on, I know you guys got jokes. Who's got one? Clean, dirty, long, short. There's one. Come on up here. 2 more. Give me 2 more people. Any joke. Come on. Free drink. Free drinks in it. Free drink, Ryan. Free drink. You got one, don't you? I know you got one. There's one. We need 1 more. All right, yeah, give these 2 a hand. Come on, 1 more. All right. Well, there's 2 of us. All right, here's 3. Here we go. There's a joke. All right, I'll hold the mic for you. You tell your joke. Everybody listen. We're gonna judge these.
Okay, this was a blind convention, and they pulled a girl up on stage to tell, ask her a few questions. He said, okay, what's 3 plus 3? She said 7. Audience is like, oh, give her another chance. So they asked again, okay, what's 2 plus 3? And she said 6. They're like, oh, give her another chance. So he said, okay, what's 2 plus 2? She says 4. The audience is like, oh, give her another chance.
That's a good one there.
I guess I'll get it.
All right, on to joke number 2. Ladies first.
Have any of you seen the new movie Constipated?
No.
That's because it hasn't come out yet.
2 good ones. All right, let's make it 3.
Alright, there was a bear and a rabbit, and they happened to be right next to each other in the woods, and they're both taking a dump. And the bear turns to the rabbit, he goes, hey, you have a problem with shit sticking to your fur? The rabbit goes, no. So the bear wiped his ass with the rabbit.
All right, applause for the joke you like. We got joke number 1. Joke number 2. Joke number 3. I think joke number 2. What do you think? All right, go get your All right, you guys ready for a real comedian? All right, this first guy is a strange guy. You will never find him without a story to tell. He spent most of his life 5 to 15 miles under the ground. He is known as the king of the underground clowns. Give it up for Coffee the Coal Miner.
How's everybody doing out there so far? On the side of applause, how many coal miners we got out there? You coal miner, old buddy?
I love coal mining.
Oh, I do too. Until I got too damn old to do it. Wait a minute, I gotta fix something here right now. Buddy, zip your pants up. He said joke off. I am a retired underground coal miner. I'm glad to be here with all you people tonight. I come from a large family, 22 boys and I'm the baby. Raised by a single parent. On the coronary report, Daddy passed away, said cause of death, double hernias. Ain't how Mommy told it. Yeah, she said they're trying to produce number 23 and pow, all these balls blowed up. But God, they did. And I always like telling everybody about the first time I saw a girl's woolly butter. Now, I wasn't but 5 years old. Yeah, my best friend Rebecca, she was 11, so there wasn't a whole lot of woolly, they mostly butter. She went to school. One day in school, she started her period for the first time and didn't know what it was. Went in and told the teacher, says, teacher says, I done hurt my weasel. That teacher seen what was going on, said, honey, go home, tell your mommy, said, you ain't no danger. She'll know what to do. She started back towards the house and see me out there playing in the yard. Coffee said, come here. I run over and she says, Coffee, I done got hurt down at that playhouse and I'm bleeding to death. I looked over and I said, well, you are not. She said, oh, yes, I am. I said, let me see. Yeah, she raised up that dress and pulled down them panties and I said, God damn, somebody done cut your finger off. How the hell was I supposed to know? That's terrible. Y'all a bunch of sick motherfuckers, right? Divorces. Man, I don't know how many of you out there ever had one of them. Damn, I didn't have me a good one. They transferred me down into Redstone, Colorado, working the evening shift. And the mine fan went out one night, about 10 o'clock, and they had to send us all home early. And there's a bunch of us, and bars, they was all kind of small. We decided we'd just stop in and drink a beer or two. And we split up. One old boy went up the street for me, run in this oversexed broad. They went out looking for a motel, couldn't find it. She said, hell, just pull up in the alley. Said, it's dark, ain't nobody gonna see us. They pulled up in the alley, he jumped back there and gave her a bang. She wanted another. Give her another, she wanted another. He gave her another, she wanted another. He said, goddamn woman, you killing me. He said, let me run down there and get us a beer. I'll come back and give you a couple more. Round the corner and run right into me. Said, Coffee, said, I got this oversexed broad out there in the back seat of my car. Said, go out there and give her a couple bangs. It's dark, she'll think it's me. I said, well, buddy, you know I'm married. No. He said, come on, Coffee. Said, man, she's hotter than hell. Said, you can do it for me, old buddy. I said, well, I guess I can do it for you, old buddy. I went out there and jumped in that car and was giving her a bang, and a cop slipped in there on us. Shined that big spotlight in the car. I come up out there, boy, and I said, It's okay, officer. I said, this is my wife. He said, oh, I'm sorry, buddy. He said, I didn't know. I said, I didn't either until you turned that goddamn light on. We didn't try to explain none of that shit to the judge. We just said we didn't like each other no more. Now I gotta tell you about some of the friends that talk about myself all the time. And I always like telling about an old truck driver. Used to bring our mine supplies into the mines, our timbers, roof bolts, named Shorty. Now Shorty told me this on himself. He said he was going through Alabama one night, had a hell of a wreck, tore him all to pieces. When they got him into the emergency room, they had to cut off all his clothes and everything. And right on his little Peter, he had his nickname, Shorty. And nurses thought that was the funniest thing they ever saw. And he was a likable boy. Had to stay around there about 4 months. On the day of his release, he asked one of the nurses out for dinner, and she accepted. Told all the other nurses. All this tickled to death for her. Yeah, and the next morning she come back, and she's walking kind of bow-legged down the hall like something done hurt her. They said, I thought you went out with Shorty last night, girl. She said, by God, I did. Said I got to rubbing that damn thing, and it got hard, and it read, Shorty's Truck Stop, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Oh, Lord, that's terrible. I was shooting coal down home one time. Had an old boy help me put my dynamite in the hole. Looked over at him one night and he was crying. I said, damn, Charlie, what's wrong with you, boy? He said, I found out last night my brother is a homosexual. No shit. Yeah, and a couple weeks later, looked over at him again. I said, now what's wrong with you, Charlie? He said, I found out last night my other brother's a homosexual. I said, damn, boy, don't nobody in your family like girls? He said, yeah, my sisters. I didn't start out working in the coal mines. When I got out of school, I went to work for my uncle. He had a drugstore. God damn, I had it made, boy. I mean, I was selling 3 pills and taking 2. Shit, I was doing good. Yeah, it lasted about 2 weeks. Come in one morning. Uncle said, I got to run next door to coffee. Says, mind the store. He didn't know where to get going until in come this old man with the sneezing. Couldn't quit sneezing. Why, hell, I didn't know what to sell him. I got to looking around on them shelves, and I spotted a bottle of castor oil. I said, yeah, Grandma said this stuff cure anything. I hear Mr. Drink this. I'll stop him. He drank it and left. Uncle come back in and said, get any customers coffee? I said, yeah, I had an old man with the sneeze. What'd you sell him? I said, hey, drink a bottle of that castor oil. He said, castor oil? I said, coffee, that ain't no good for the sneezes. I said, hell it ain't. Look him over there wrapped around that telephone pole. That son of a bitch afraid to sneeze. Oh, Lord, that's terrible. Mom fired me. Yeah, my going that lost that job. Then I went to work for his farmers. We was out in the field one day working, and a spaceship flew in there on us. Now that spaceship come this little green man with a big old coat on. He said, farmer said, I'll give you $1 million for all them cows you got there. And the farmer said, hell yeah. He got shit in them cows. He gave him $1 million. The old spaceman reached in his pocket, pulled out a little cow about that big. Said, there they are. Little cow went num 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 num, leave them all out. He said, I'll give you another $1 million for all them pigs you got there. He said, hell yeah. He gave him another $1 million. He pulled out a little pig, about that big, said, there they are. Look, where the hell you going? You got poop? stuck in there anyway. Anyway, he pulled out that little pig. And he said, there they are. Little pig went, num, 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 eat them all up. I said, damn, Mr. Spaceman. I said, that's all right. I said, you ain't got a little ex-wife in there, have you? I was put up for that one. You people here, how many of you has ever been to a live stand-up comedy show? Let me hear you. Maybe so. Well, the one of you that ain't, I want to give you a little bit of advice. Don't ever sit in the front row. Now them comedians will fuck with you. Yeah, but you ain't got no worry about you tonight, because I got something up here ain't none of them got. I got my own mind like I can fuck with anybody I want to. Hello, Henry. I got the one behind me. Hello, Henry. There's an old army buddy of mine. Yeah, and he's the reason I got up in this part of the country. We was laying in a foxhole over in Vietnam. He kept telling me, Coffee said, we make it out here alive, so you got to come up my part of the country. Let me take you over in the South Bend around them Irish people and meet you one of them leprechauns. Hell, I come up here, we've been over 100 times, I ain't seen no damn leprechaun. But he told me, he went in a bar over there one night, sat down at the other end of the bar, said a leprechaun. Said the old leprechaun took a drink of beer, ran up on that bar, run over and got right in his face and went, run over and sat down. Oh, Henry said, oh, dang. Yeah, a few minutes later, took another drink of beer, jumped up on that bar, run back over in old Henry's face again and went, run back over and sit down. He slipped that little son of a bitch come back over here. Better put a stop to this.